Jane Forlenza.
Good evening. My name is Jane Forlenza, and over the last 6 months, like so many here in the room, I've had to take a crash course in the management of a school district. I've honed my investigative skills as a detective. I've learned more about civics than I ever learned in school, and sadly, I've learned that we can't trust anyone who has anything to do with politics, not even our own school board or administrators. Planning is paramount to the success of any venture, be it a business or your personal growth. And to me, school is a combination of the two. Your lack of planning over the last several years has forced an emergency on the students in this district and put the residents of our community against the wall. How could you have operated at a deficit for all of these years and never indicated that to the public? We are the stakeholders here. We are the ones you represent. I've learned a lot in the last 6 months, and the truth is that as I stand here, the entire District 210 community is responsible for $500 million in debt service between now and 2033. And that's just the debt service to pay off the building bonds. We will still always need the additional funds to run these schools. This year, our debt service on the bonds is between $14 and $15 million. But in the final year of the debt service, we will have a staggering payment that exceeds $41 million. That's about 3 times what we're currently paying. Are you all aware of that? I don't think most of the residents in this community are, and I don't think they're going to be very happy when they find out. What's more disturbing is that 68% of the principal for the debt that we won't be able to pay off until 2033, that principal is not going to be paid. 68% of it won't be paid until 2027 to 2033. Now, I'm not a financial whiz, but I immediately recognized what a bad deal this is when I looked at the chart that one of our parents prepared for us. This was a bad deal, and it's only going to hamper our ability to borrow any money that we need to borrow to keep our buildings up and running. Consider this. In 2034, when that very final payment of $41 million is made, West will be 25 years old. North will have been shuttered for 18 of its 26 years. East will be 57 years old, and Central will be 80 years old. We will no doubt have plenty of repairs to do between now and then, and it really boggles my mind when I think of just how many repairs an 80-year-old building will require, and how silly we're going to look when somebody considering to move into our district sees North boarded up. It's easy to say that closing a building will save money, and at a glance that may make sense. Unfortunately, I'm concerned that a glance may be all you gave this last summer. When you close any school, there will still be many expenses. Utilities, heating, water and power, maintenance, landscaping, insurance. Insurance, something I think you should know about, Mr. Malloy. I know from personal experience that insurance on an unoccupied structure is much greater than one that's inhabited. It makes sense. An empty building is a target for vandalism. The truth is, once you close any school, it will never reopen. With our astronomical debt service, we will never be able to afford the costs associated with reopening any one of our schools. Filling the pool alone after it sits void of water is a monumental expense. We learned all about that last summer. Pools are designated to hold water, and when they don't, the walls and floor will crack. And with the temperature changes, so many things inside that building are going to not be in good shape. Once North is closed, it only makes sense to take all the newer equipment and disperse it to the other schools. The vultures have already been circling around North eyeing their prizes, and I personally find this behavior reprehensible. But it's just what's bound to happen because this closing has been so rushed and so mismanaged. No one has given thought to these things or provided any direction for us on how we'll go down. We need to have a melding of the cultures and traditions. We need structure and guidance to make these things happen properly before people lose their tempers. You see, These things all take forethought and planning. We need to anticipate what needs to be done, and I'm very concerned that forethought and planning are not at the top of your list, because if they were, we wouldn't be where we are now.